All right. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of all right, the Kingdom. I did it again. I forgot to mute that. Sorry, folks, if you heard that twice. I have to bring this back.
Professional streamer.
It's it's not like I've been doing this for 3 years or anything like that.
Professional streamer.
That would be
Live, everybody.
be embarrassing, guys. Whoa.
Indeed. Hi, everybody. This is the Kingdom of the Kael. Our DM is fucked up, so yeah.
So this is my custom D&D campaign. The people below me are the people who are playing characters, and bad stuff's gonna happen tonight, and they're gonna have to deal with it. We're having some slight, and by slight I mean major technical difficulties. If you see people randomly blinking out of existence or switching spots on the screen, we're going to blame that on...
Twitch.
Let's call it global warming. I mean, that's the blame for everything else right now, or divisiveness. Let's call it divisiveness in our country. We're going to blame it all on divisiveness in our country.
That's a fair blame.
Yeah. So to give you guys an update, people just keep blinking out as I say things. I'm worried that they're just like, oh, that joke was too far. We can't get political in D&D.
Get out.
Make the Platinum City great again.
No.
God.
That's what
now
you
we're
guys
leaving.
don't
Peace
know.
out.
The final boss is a dude with a bad toupee.
It's orange.
The Council of One explains a lot.
The true final boss of the campaign.
Wow. So some of these people have been playing together for over 2 years now. It's really impressive. I think it's time. I think it's 2 years. Is it 2 years or is it just 1 year? Someone with a better memory than me, figure that out. Anyway, to catch people up on what's been going on, they recently got back from finding out some pretty strange stuff. Fade was filled in on a little bit of kind of the bigger picture about what's going on. There is
Yes.
there's so much more going on than just the Eladrin being dicks. Fade found out that the gods have had this kind of thing where they kind of split off, and some of them decided to fight against other ones because one of the gods decided that they should intervene directly in mortal matters by using Chosen, while another of the gods thought that the mortals should be left to kind of choose their own fate, and making these Chosen was unjust. Because of that, a giant war happened forever ago that the repercussions are still being felt today. And so that's why Fade has now become a Chosen. And he spent last game forging his chosen weapon, which was an ordeal both physically and mentally, but he was able to survive it, and he now has this kind of clawed gauntlet that is his chosen weapon, with a couple kind of interesting features built into it. So yeah, that was done. You guys came outside to your beautifully, groomed, wonderful home to find that this weird gnome had somehow washed up on the shore and was talking about something bad's about to happen, something bad's about to happen. No, I need to talk to the leader. And then giant explosions occurred, and you guys saw through the burning canopy that had been kind of protecting you guys these what looked like giant, we're not really giant, but ships flying in the air up to 200 to 300 feet above you guys, just raining down fire and explosions. And so that is where we left off. So as soon as the explosions start happening, Soligny is actually the first person to do anything. And her reaction is almost reflex from having Eladrin find camps that she's been at before. Her immediate reaction is she starts ordering people to find the women and children or the more defenseless ones, because half of her pathfinders and hunters are women. But the more defenseless people, she's sending people to protect them. She's trying to find ways to get people out there, and she's just barking orders at everyone and is basically ignoring you guys right now because you don't technically answer to him. Her, sorry. Yeah. Whatever. She's a very handsome woman.
She's not accusing us of being traitors.
Alright.
So this little gnome wizard will save the day? Question mark.
You're about to find out. Again, as you guys are sitting there and Soligny is ordering people around, you can see some people are fleeing from houses as they explode from these fireballs. And just this kind of rain of fire. You guys look up and it's really hard to count how many ships there are because the Electrum itself is this purple metal that is really only used by wizards. It's sometimes used as currency, but its main thing that it's known for is its magical properties. It conducts magical energy very, very well. And because it's this light purplish color, seeing the outlines of these ships against a blue sky, light purple against the blue sky, is kind of difficult, and they kind of already shimmer for some odd reason, making them even more difficult to see. So you can't really tell how many of these ships there are, but you know there is at least 3 or 4. There might be as many as a dozen. You can't tell. They keep moving. Depending on the ship, they keep kind of dipping and diving when they cast their fireballs and that. The lowest it looks like they get, I'll have you make an intelligence check. See how good you are at kind of gauging distances.
23.
23. Okay, so you sit there in triangulation and looking at shadows and stuff like that. You think the lowest that they ever get is roughly about like 170, 150 feet above ground level. Beyond that, they are their kind of cruising altitude is in the 200-foot range.
Darn it!
I am useless.
So, all around you guys, you see explosions and destruction and people fleeing. And you can see the captain on the ship readying the ballista because while a ballista in general is not designed for super long range, it's still a giant bow and arrow at its most basic. So it looks like he's doing his best to see if he can't start attacking them. while also trying to keep his ship intact as these fireballs are raining down on. Right now, they seem indiscriminate. Due to the fact that there was pretty heavy foliage cover, the ships couldn't really see what they were shooting at before. And so they were just firing indiscriminately, which is where you guys are now. So, what do you guys want to do?
Fuck.
I want to grab, I guess, Sonia, because she's the one who seemed like she's most in charge of things, if she'll listen to me this time.
Okay.
Just run up to her, I guess, and say, they're controlled by an enchanted stone at the helm. If
So
we can take out the
as
pilot,
you come
maybe there's
close
hope.
to her, you're immediately stopped by something being pressed against your neck, and it takes you like half a second to realize that Soligny has instantly drawn a scimitar and drawn it across your neck, stopping you dead in your tracks as soon as you came close, almost on reflex. And seeing who it is that she has there, she hasn't removed it yet. She hasn't done any damage to you or anything, but you have a blade pressed against where, with just a very quick motion, you start bleeding out.
Right.
So
Very gently, I look at her and say, I know you don't trust me, but I want to help.
Don't trust you. Don't trust you. You arrive and the Eladrin attack a completely hidden compound. I have men and women dying right now. You're lucky I don't take your head off. Unfortunately for you, I have much more important things than to deal with a traitor like yourself. I recommend I never see you again. And she turns around and continues barking orders, and then you see her put the scimitar away, draw an arrow, and just start trying to pick off some of the guys on the ship. But due to the fact that you guys can only see the bottoms of the ship, and they have to kind of lean over the side to shoot, she's having a hard time picking targets. And she starts commanding her pathfinders and hunters to just start firing, while everyone else she can is focused on getting people to some of the smaller boats, getting people to the main ship that you guys have been using for months now. Whatever they can do to just get people out of here, because you guys are currently in a kill zone.
Right.
So she's still there, like she's right next to you, but she seems preoccupied, as it were.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
Willow knows that she's not going to listen, so she turns around and, because for a brief moment, the Eladrin she met briefly, while she doesn't really want to, goes up to him and says,
A mostly naked Eladrin stats before you.
How you doing?
She just stares up at him and goes, you were going to listen to me before. You should listen now. They're controlled by an enchanted stone at the helm. If we can kill the pilots, maybe we can stop them from flying.
Where exactly on the ship? At the helm. Where is the helm on the ship?
I mean, I assume it's at the front, Jody.
It's very similar. These work very similar to a traditional sailing ship. The helm is technically at the aft section of the ship, and yeah, I mean they're smaller than like a frigate or like the ship that you guys are used to going on that has a 30-man crew. These generally will have anywhere from half a dozen to a dozen people on them maximum, and they're not designed for they're not big enough to hold enough supplies for a very long journey. Like these are small ships, but they fit the basic kind of archetype of much larger ships, where they have sails, they have a what do you call it, helm at the back of the boat. They have kind of what do you call them, death holes. They have little slots in the sides of the boat that they can use to shoot out of and things like that. It's obvious that these were designed to attack targets below them, which is something that's not really been done before. Like sailing ships would have things that could attack, sea creatures in the water and stuff like that, but that was generally like off to the side near them. These are designed to attack things like directly below them. So,
Shit.
So from where you guys are, even when they're dipping down to get close enough to cast fireballs and stuff at the ground, you can't physically see the helmsman. They're kind of in the center of the back of the ship, the aft of the ship. So,
Okay. I look at the gnome. I understand. Can you get any of us up there?
I can get myself. I can polymorph someone up. Or I can...
and as you guys are
Allow
doing
it.
that,
Test.
you hear kind of a strange sound from the Eladrin. You hear them start screaming, and you hear explosions that are not happening near the ground like they have been for the last 5 minutes or so. And you guys look up and you see fireballs being shot laterally from these ships, which shouldn't be happening. They're shooting at blank air, or at least that's what it appears like. And you guys see kind of this glint of gold in the sky, and you see this small humanoid with large, leathery, golden wings sprouting from its back, just kind of dive down towards you guys, and just for ease of landing, smash into the water and kind of pop back up and get to the shore pretty quickly. And you see your friend Elaine, who was taken from you just a little while ago by his Dragon Master. And he looks somewhat different. You can't really place what it is, but something about Elaine just seems slightly different. Elaine, as you came over, your Dragon Master had basically wanted to map out the area that has been enclosed, but had already kind of given you your command and had sent you back towards your friends. And when you got close, you saw what was happening, instantly activated your dragon transformation, and you have no idea what's going on with this whole flying ship thing, but you can tell that your friends are in some pretty deep shit right now. So, yes, you guys now can see this half-elf in glittering golden armor and these large golden wings spread out behind him, standing before you. What would you guys like to do?
Welcome back.
Sorry for leaving.
We need to get to the highest ship now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
How long can you fly, Elaine?
I don't remember.
You've got 30 seconds in your transformed state. I'm going to say your Dragon Master gave you a slight boost to get you where you needed to go fast enough. So we'll say that the 30 seconds starts as you start talking to them.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
full?
Elaine, try to take Avok up. Just try.
That's my big ass.
We could try.
Actually, no, take me. I'm lighter and I don't have armor on. Elaine, take me up. What? Gnome. Polymorph Avok into something small. Kata, turn into a bird. Go. This is the highest one right now. Just go.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with
Don't
changing
you
it
have
this
to
time.
get your...
It's fine.
You wanna do
I've got it.
So
As I say that, Scar comes running up,
Okay.
sprinting with my holy symbol out for me to grab as we go.
so you have your holy symbol, which again acts as a shield, so you are now not completely
Okay.
naked.
Scar, go hide in the corner. Only kill if you can do it from surprise. And he runs back up.
Yes, and he runs away. So Elaine, you think Fade without his armor, Eladrin themselves are not massive creatures. So you think it'll probably take a little bit of effort because you're still getting used to your wings, but you think it's possible you could pick him up. He has this wicked looking claw thing on his arm.
I have so many questions. But I guess that'll have
If
to wait.
you'd like, you can sit there and ask as many questions as you want.
Gonna go ahead and grab him and fly
Okay.
up to him.
I'm going to have you just make me a real quick strength athletics check.
Guidance as we go. Hello.
You're just sitting there going, seriously? I just got the weapon. That's the
What
guidance.
does guidance do?
Gives you a D4 on your check.
D4.
On your
Okay,
next check.
good, because I'm probably gonna need that on this check.
Yeah.
Okay, D4.
Or I think it
Oh.
technically lasts for 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. You said athletics or
Athletics, yes.
14?
14. That's good enough. So, Fade, you feel him kind of grip you underneath the armpits and just kind of start lifting you into the air. And you guys start flying. What's your speed when flying, Elaine?
Probably 30 feet.
Okay.
Because I think it was the same as my walking speed.
Yep. Same as your walking speed. So you start shooting up 60 feet, basically 10 feet a second, getting up there. You're pretty certain that you can probably get to one of the ships before your transformation is going to be gone. I'm going to have you roll me a perception check. Fade, you can roll a perception check as well.
Please do.
I can perceive things. That's one of the three things I'm okay at.
Good.
25.
I just rolled a 1.
All right, so Elaine, you are focusing on the fact that you are carrying, and you're trying to figure out why Fade isn't wearing any clothes.
Yeah.
Like he's
Gonna ask
basically
that.
got a banana hammock and, a little cloth in front of it, and that's it. So you're focused on that. Fade, you notice that you get a little bit better count. It looks like there's a grand total of 8 ships currently in this fleet. One of them is significantly higher than the others by about 50 feet. It's about 250 feet into the air and is not moving.
Yeah, okay.
And because Elaine with Fade is kind of hard to ignore flying up from the ground, I would like some dexterity saving throws from the both of you.
Oh dear.
Hey, I'm good at that. If I rolled well.
Fade, I'm going to give you disadvantage because you're kind of being held.
Oh.
8.
Oh,
8 and 8.
It's impressive.
oh dear.
Oh wait, can I use guidance on this?
No, I just use it on myself.
Yeah.
16.
16's good. It is not. You're going to take some damage.
What's shooting? Is it another fireball?
Yeah, it's a fireball. Damn it, you made me lose count.
Oh god.
The
Okay.
total
I
is...
just healed you.
Well, thanks.
Wow,
I mean, I
that's
won't die
impressive.
now.
There are numbers higher than a 3 on a d6, right?
No,
No.
don't be ridiculous.
Uh,
The name is misleading.
Thank God.
so grand total 27 damage to Fade. Half that for Elaine. Unless, I don't think you have evasion, do you?
No.
Okay, so yeah, half that for Elaine. Plus it's fire damage, so half it again. So,
Was that 5 damage?
I'd
Or
probably.
zero up or down?
You always round down, so.
Okay, 5, yeah.
So, yeah, you feel toasty warm. Fade feels slightly more so. Fade, again, doing rough math in your head and everything, you think Elaine could probably get you to that top ship if he started heading for it right now. So if you want to tell him to head that way, you can. Otherwise, Elaine, where do you want to go?
That was the instruction.
Okay.
Get us to the highest ship. So I will focus my energies on trying to guidance Elaine again.
All right. Elaine, you have you kind of have to dip and dive through a little bit, but you do land upon the ship. You see, a grand total of 8 people on the ship, including someone that both you two recognize. He's wearing this kind of almost regal-looking outfit. You can tell that there's something underneath it that gives it a little bit of weight, maybe some chainmail or some sort of underlay to give it some weight. He's got this big cape coming out behind him, and on his hip is a rapier with with platinum inlaid on it, which he has yet to draw. And as he sees you drop, he turns to you and goes, "Well, it's good to know I can see a friendly face when all these horrible things are happening."
Oh, God.
Of course, my lord.
While
I brought
that's
you
happening, Avok, Willow, Kata, what are you guys doing?
I transformed to a giant eagle.
All right, so Kata starts transforming. You see her kind of tiny human form just expand to a giant eagle. Willow, Avok.
I look at him and say, "Do you want to become one too, and then carry me up?"
I don't know how I feel about that.
I have another way to get.
Another explosion right next to you. Avok
Fine.
and
Just
Willow,
do it.
I need dexterity saving throws, please.
Oh,
This is not the time for indecision.
10.
18.
Me too.
All right. Just Willow and Avok, you were already starting to kind of fly and move. Avok, you
Did I have to roll
save.
too?
Kata, you did not. Avok, you saved. Willow, you failed.
I was. Right.
10, 15, 18, 21, I rolled 27 again. That's impressive. So, Avok, you take half that. Willow, you take 27 fire damage. As a
Oh, good.
fireball explodes near you guys.
We don't know anything about this wizard, this little gnome. Are you alive?
Oh, I'm alive.
Okay, good.
Level
But,
9 characters, much more difficult to one-shot. Especially with just level 3 fireballs.
But still,
but
that's squishy.
Yeah, she lost about half her HP, so that's not.
Almost, yeah.
Oh, God.
I said about.
So, Kata, you see the explosion
I-
happen. You see Willow just get blown back by it. You see Avok just being Avok. The fire envelops him, burns him a little bit, and he just kind of grits his teeth and bites through the pain.
Fuck it. Change me. I'm not taking this shit.
I cast polymorph on him and turn him into a giant eagle and then climb on his back.
Okay. Perfect. So Avok gets smarter.
Actually, I'm not as dumb as an eagle.
No, I think you might actually have the same intelligence score.
Yeah, giant eagles have an intelligence of 8.
I'm smarter. I am smarter.
Aha!
Are you sure?
You can
I have
say
the
you're
same
smarter than an
intelligence
eagle.
score as
Not a 5th grader, but
Intelligence
an
of a
eagle.
weapon. I'm not a dumb human.
So
He's
you
not from
fly.
Rockland.
You start flying up. Kata, you start flying up. You guys see ahead of you Elaine and Fade go for this ship that's not actually really moving at all. It's just kind of floating in place. What do you guys want to do? That ship itself is about 50 feet higher than the rest of the ships that are kind of dipping and diving to get away or to continue attacking, I mean. So Avok and Kata, you technically have control of the situation. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go for one of the ships that's dipping and diving? Do you want to go for the top one?
No, we're going for the top one.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
let's see. Can I see, any crew members that are close to the edge?
You have really good vision as an eagle.
Anything I can, maybe toss overboard? Yeah.
In short, yes. Every single ship, in order for them to, it's built basically in a way, in order for them to shoot directly below them, what they do is they have these little sections of the ship that will kind of slide open and allow them to, they're kind of like these things that they can basically lie on and lean over the edge without any danger of falling because they're lying on a board basically. And leaning over and just firing off. However, it's an inclined plane. It wouldn't take a ton of effort to move someone off of it. So, yeah, probably on each ship there are anywhere from 3 to 6 people doing this at any given time. That if you wanted to start, that will cause them to notice you much more than they do right now. Right now, most of them are just focusing on the ground. There's a couple fireballs that have come near you guys. You guys have kind of moved around them. Kata, you're a little bit better at it than Avok because this is Avok's first time flying. So your feathers are getting singed a little bit, but you're kind of dodging things. But you get the idea that if you start picking people off, it's something you can definitely do, and they'll be dropping a minimum of like 150 feet. And down to some people that are pretty unhappy that they would be there. But as soon as you start doing that, you're pretty sure you're going to be a target.
Don't notice me.
So what do you want to do, Kata? I have somehow lost the ability to hear Kata. I'm going to very quickly just refresh. There we go. Now I can hear you.
Do I see the later?
Say that one more time. I lost the last word.
Okay. As long as they don't see me.
All right, I'm going to refresh because my video and audio is totally out of sync.
It's not a garbage bag next to the dresser. It's like a green.
We are having tech issue after tech issue after tech issue. It is remarkable how broken everything is right now.
Welcome to Roll20.
Yay! Come on. You can do it. Kata, can you hear me? No, Kata went away. Bye, Kata. Willow, you're Kata now. Congratulations.
Okay.
You are now a druid.
It's a bit of a change.
I wouldn't know.
All right, while we're waiting for Kata to come back. All right, cool.
Sorry about that. I going for the leader.
Going for so you're going for the top ship, or you're gonna pick off guys on the lower ships?
I thought Avon said that we were going for the top ship.
I'm going for the top ship. Just like,
But
All right.
there's no one attacking from the top ship right now. It's just kind of directing.
Yeah,
well-
there's no attacks coming from the top ship.
I don't know. Kata is a dumb girl.
Well, while you make your decision, I'll go back to Avok since you're kind of in control. And Willow, you are on a mount right now. You have access to, the ability to do things while you are traveling. So, Avok, you can choose the destination. Willow, if you want to do something on your way up there, you can.
Okay.
So I'll give Kata a little bit of time to make her decision. Avok, you're going for, I'm assuming, the top ship.
yeah, I was following where Elaine and Fade were going.
So as you get, as you head in that direction, you instantly become a target, and you see a fireball coming towards you. I'm going to have you make an acrobatics check using the Eagle stats. Kata, do you know what the Eagle stats are for acrobatics?
I am copy pasting it right now.
Okay.
It's okay. I have my.
Are you your monster manual?
No, I have my PHB, which thankfully has Giant Eagle in it.
Okay.
All right, so you said acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Yep. If it isn't specifically trained, it's just a dex check.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, I think my danger sense still.
I'll give you a danger sense for this. Yeah, sure. It's
Good.
not technically a saving throw, but it's dangerous. You're trying to weave in between fireballs.
Right. Well, actually, that's good because I've rolled a 3 and a 19, so that's a 22.
22. Not bad. So you're sitting there and you're weaving through things. Willow, because of how much he's weaving through things, I do need you to make a strength saving throw to kind of stay seated.
Shit.
Yeah, that's not so great. Okay.
Roll high, sweetie.
14.
14 is good enough. So you keep your seats and you keep your focus enough that you can complete basically the equivalent of an action on your way up. You're passing by ships that are kind of diving down and just flinging fireballs, destroying the city below or the village below. What do you want to do as you are flying up to this?
How close are we getting to people on them?
How close do you want to get?
If I can get within 60 feet. Are we within
Avok
60
rolled
feet?
high enough. He can do that.
Okay.
You kind
then I
of
just want
he's not used to being ridden, so you actually have to kind of scream in his ear. Avok, go that way. Despite the fact that you've probably ridden pack animals before, so you're used to how to direct them. Giant Eagle doesn't quite work that way. Really, Fade?
Right.
Really?
Perish the thoughts, Mike.
Breathe, Fade. Breathe. So yeah, you can get within 60 feet. What do you want to do?
I want to cast Thorn Whip at one of them and try and pull it over the edge.
At one of what?
One of the people.
One of the people?
Who's out on
Cool.
one of the ledges that
Make
we're-
your
yeah.
attack roll. They are technically prone, so as this is a ranged attack, it'll be done with disadvantage because they're basically lying on the deck, shooting
that-
fireballs down.
Okay, so it's prone, but it's not cover, because I have Spell Sniper, which ignores cover.
Yeah, it's not cover. They're just prone. So
All right. Oh, that's not great. That is A 16.
16. More than enough. You sit there.
Great. Okay.
You hit them. Go ahead and roll damage. Which, how did you get a druid cantrip? Oh, spell
Right.
sniper,
It's a
duh.
Spell sniper.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
created a spell sniper as well, and I'm like, I am totally getting, like, Thorn Whip? Sure. Like, that is a great idea.
Yeah, my own Eldritch Knight is probably flying on.
So that's,
Getting,
that's 12.
12, okay.
And they're
So-
pulled 10 feet towards me, which is hopefully off the edge.
Yeah, so what basically you do is you sit there and you shoot out this thorn whip. It grabs onto them, pulls them up, and you see the thorns kind of wrap around them and pierce them, and they start bleeding a little bit. And then it looks up at you, starts to point a wand at you, and you see a bright red light start to form. And then you see all the color drain from its face as it drops. And by the time it hits the ground, you will already be on the ship, so you will have no idea what happened to that particular person. But you were at about 200 feet when you did it, so you're not
He
thinking
did.
good thoughts for this person.
No.
So, Kata, back to you. What are you doing?
Yeah, how many mages are on the ship now that Willow took care of one of them?
On that ship, specifically, there are 3 more. There was a total of 4 on that one specifically. And then there's other crew members for a grand total of 8 people on the ship itself. You have the person at the helm, and then 3 other crew members that are kind of wandering around and adjusting sails and things like that. So there's 3 more spellcasters on it.
Let's take out another spellcaster.
Okay.
Do you him off?
Do you have multi-attack with...
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yeah.
I will let you, because you're basically, what I'm going to have you do is make grapple checks. And since you have multi-attack, I will let you grapple 2 of them.
Okay.
However, grapple checks are strength-based, so I don't know.
They have the same strength and dex.
Oh, they do? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. It's technically a strength athletics if a giant eagle is trained in athletics. I don't know. I don't have the stat sheet in front of me. But go ahead and...
With advantage?
You know what? They're not going to expect this. So sure, I'll give you advantage on it.
18.
All right. So, because they're prone as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So the first one, you sit there, you grab him, you carry him off a little bit, and then drop. This one, again, about 200 feet in the air, falls. Go for the second one.
Okay. It is a 22.
No, D20. They have, like, double-digit numbers on them, correct? Like they are. I rolled a 4. And they're wizards. It's not like they have super high strength or dex scores.
Or HP.
So another one starts falling. That does take your turn. So
Yeah.
you're kind of gonna be there instead of joining the rest of your party up on the ship. And while you're there, you start seeing the last remaining person on that ship, and then 2 people from a nearby ship just shoot some fire bolts at you.
Ooh, okay.
So the first one is going to be 16.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, second one is going to be less than that. 14.
Yeah, still hits.
Okay. And the third one's going to be higher than that. So you get hit 3 times. First one does 6 damage. Second one does 17 damage.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. That was a 6.
Oh, okay, yeah.
13
can I,
damage.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So 6.
No, so you took the first one was 6 damage. Second one was 13 damage, and the third one is 10 damage.
Oh God.
Um,
Oh God. Oh God.
So that's the rest. The rest of them are still kind of focused on just causing as much damage and destruction as they can. Fade and Elaine, as you guys land on the deck, and Aethwin is sitting there, still without his rapier drawn, but kind of looking you guys over, very smug. You notice that his ship itself has only about 4 people on it. He has his pilot. He has 2 people that are manning the sail itself, and then there is a figure in the back. He's wearing a dark cloak that covers most of his features. Since there are no real shadows to hide in, he's kind of in plain sight, but he's just kind of in the corner, and you can see his cloak, his black cloak covers most of his body all the way down to his feet, which wear kind of like a Ninja Tabby style boot. But he does have part of the cloak thrown back enough that you can see his hand resting on a dagger with a platinum inlaid jewel on the pommel. And he's sitting. He looks remarkably calm, like he's just kind of leaning against the aft railing, with one hand on his dagger, and the other hand just kind of leaning against this. The brief bit that you can see underneath the cloak, where it's brought back, where you can see his dagger, it looks like hardened leather under on his chest. Beyond that, you can't tell what is underneath the cloak itself. So,
Cool.
Yeah. So Elaine and Fade, I'm actually gonna have everyone roll for initiative, but this isn't going to be a full-on like combat.
We're going
This
back.
is going to be more of a
Are you kidding me?
let's call this narrative combat.
Oh no, wait, my initiative went up by 1.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yay! I was like, at the
I
start
did
when
open the
everything
damn program, didn't I?
was 4. I rolled a 6. I'm not gonna take that 20. Okay.
It's remarkable how much fun it is to try and double click on something when your mouse moves between clicks. My computer gets mad at me because it thinks I'm trying to rapidly move icons and things like that when I'm just trying to open programs. Come on, you can do it. See, a good dungeon master would already have this open because I use this for every single game, even the non 5th edition games.
Professional streamer.
I've only been doing this for 3 years, guys. I mean, come on.
It's fine. It's because I'm here. I'm ruining everything.
All right, let's go. Avok, what you got?
19.
Cool. Elaine, what you got?
15.
Willow, what you got?
9.
Fade, what you got?
14.
Kata, what you got?
8.
8. Okay. And then should probably roll for these guys. All right, so we're going to start off with Avok. As you are in giant eagle form, I'm going to let Willow make the decision as soon as she comes back if she wants to dismount or stay on your back. But do you have... so again, this is going to be kind of a narrative thing. We're not really going to be focusing on action, bonus action, blah 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 blah. This is more going to be describe to me what you want to do. I will make you roll something for it.
Okay.
So while we wait for Willow, Avok, what do you want to do first?
All right. So at this point, I've caught up to Elaine and Fade.
Yeah,
and
you basically kind of landed on the deck of this ship, and being a giant eagle, you take up a large part of the ship. Elaine and Fade are next to you. Willow is on your back. Very quickly, I'm going to just refresh this because Willow is not coming back for me.
Yeah.
Roll 20 chat. Why do you do this to me? Come on, you can do it. All right, well, I've got Avok. Willow will have to return momentarily. So, Avok, you're up first. What kind of thing do you want to do?
No. I'm sorry. What? Yeah.
Did I turn into a robot?
Yeah, you kind of did. You cut a bit.
Okay, so you're going to be up first. What do you want to do? Again, this is I call this narrative combat, where you basically just decide. Think of this as like a movie scene. Describe what your character does in the movie scene, and then I will decide what kind of roles you have to make in order to do that successfully.
Okay. Well, Avox his 8th win and is just, well, given the past history, Avok wants to eviscerate this bastard. Doesn't care if he's in eagle form. So the eagle's lunging right towards the asshole.
Okay. I'm going to have you... go ahead and make two attack rolls.
Okay.
Because eagles have multi-attack.
Yeah. Here you are. Alright, so, multi-attack. Okay, so, I guess I'll do a beak and a talon. Or beak and talons, yes. So, yes, that makes sense. Okay, so, first one. That is a 19 to hit.
Misses. As you come up with your first attack with the beak, he, faster than you think should be possible, he draws his rapier and smacks your beak away with the bell guard, very elaborate bell guard of his rapier. And nothing happens.
Yeah. Okay. Just a note, Victoria is lacking Wi-Fi, which is why she's...
Okay.
Yeah. So, might be losing her for a bit. Alright, anyways, second attack with the talons. Shit. Okay, hopefully that's better. That's a 23 to hit.
Sure. Go ahead and... Yep, go ahead and do damage.
Okay. 2d6 plus 3. Okay. Where's my d6s? There you are. 11 damage.
As your claws kind of rake into him, they rake against something very, very hard, and you notice something strange. Like the very fine clothing that he's wearing, as your very sharp talons scratch across it, it doesn't tear or rip or pierce. And as you sit there, he moves because there's a giant eagle that had just slammed into him. So he moves back slightly from the impact. but he seems to be completely oblivious to the blow itself.
Oh, crap. Okay, that's not good. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna flat back a bit.
Okay. As you do that, again, faster than should be possible, you see that rapier
Remember to still be on deck.
come around.
Wait, what?
Does a 24 hit you?
Yeah, that hits.
All
I'm an
right.
eagle.
I have to get the right dice. Okay, so 5, 9, 10, 16. You take 21 damage as the blade streaks across you and your feathers erupt in flames.
Ow.
And Willow takes...
Oh god.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
12 fire damage as the flames kind of roll over you in a very bizarre way. You've never seen fire work this way before, but they kind of roll over you and strike her as well.
Okay.
So you have enough movement with this bird to kind of get back to your beginning position or go somewhere else?
Beginning position.
Okay. It's his turn.
Oh god.
He looks at you all and goes, well, I certainly didn't think this is how it would end. Fade,
Yes, my friend.
you can stop now. I can see where your true allegiance lies. I can see that you have been tainted, that you are no longer worth the trust I invested in you.
Was this before or after you sent assassins to kill me for doing what you asked?
At what point did you think that that was my doing or that it had anything to do with my feelings for you? You were a loose thread. You hadn't contacted me, and
One quick question, and then I'm going to prepare a spell for my turn.
question to me, the DM, or a question to Eighth One?
No, I say that to him
Okay.
coming up on my turn.
I am done speaking to a race traitor like yourself. I think it's time to end you.
Cool.
Oh god.
I need to actually look this up because he's super cool and can do cool things.
Oh shit.
This spell is called Power Word Kill. This is the spell where I go
No,
away.
don't do fucking dare. No.
Can't be that high enough level to do that.
We're at the end of the game,
Don't
boys.
jinx it.
No, it is not Power Word Kill. I will guarantee
Thank
you
God.
he does not have access to Power Word Kill.
Power Word.
That would be such a dick move, seeing as none of you guys have over 100 hit points.
Oh, true.
I'm the only one who does.
Do you have over 100 hit points? Wow.
Meat shield.
I'm a barbarian. It's kind of part of the deal.
I didn't think at 9 you would have hit in triple digits just yet.
And I've been really good on my HP gains.
Here we go. I have to see how this works.
It does 0 damage.
What are you casting on me?
Wish.
Shut up.
Just figuring out which one he would prefer.
Is he gonna cast heal on me? Because that'll be okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do.
That's fine.
He turns towards Elaine and goes, "You disgusting half-breed mongrel. Kill him." And he points to Fade. And Elaine, as he says that, you feel his eyes kind of locking onto you, and you feel your body start to stop being under your control. And I need a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. Yeah. Wisdom.
Yes.
Oh, but Elaine. Fuck.
That's a 6.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
The entirety of your purpose in life now is to kill Fade.
Wait, do I have like advantage on this?
This is not a charm effect.
Darn.
This is actually, you have been commanded by a very powerful spellcaster to kill Fade, and until that is done, you cannot stop yourself from doing that. And then he simply kind of gets into a fencing stance and prepares himself. You see the dagger in the back. Again, just kind of sit back and wait to see what's going on. The next up is going to be Elaine, unfortunately. Do we have... we don't have Willow back yet, do we?
No, she keeps going in and out.
Okay. Well, if she comes in, tell her to go audio only for a little bit and see if that doesn't help. Avok, if you go into settings, set your bandwidth to low.
But I cannot find anything that specifies bandwidth on here.
If I go into settings, I should be able to choose video bandwidth. I'm going to go very low.
Yes.
Back in here.
All right, so
switched
theoretically...
to so I'm going to leave my video off, and hopefully it stays. Because apparently the Wi-Fi I was on no longer wants to let me do anything with Roll20.
Okay. Well, we can hear you, and that's all that matters. So, Elaine, you are up. Your entire purpose in life is to kill Fade.
Well, I guess I'm gonna do to Fade what I was gonna do to that guy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use my brand new shiny Dragon Tail,
Okay.
and I'm gonna grapple Fade.
Okay.
One attack. We'll have to roll for that. Is it strength?
Yep, so that'll
Is
be,
it
strength athletics versus Fade's either, you can choose athletics or acrobatics for the grapple. I think with your Dragon Tail, you can actually use acrobatics for it, because that's part of the class feature.
What did you roll, you silly rogue?
I'll use athletics just because.
I'm gonna tell you that because of the nature of the spell.
Darn it. Okay, fine. 26.
You win.
All right, so you see Fade out of his arm shoots the dragon tail, and it comes and it wraps around your neck, grappling you.
How far away from the edge are we?
The ship itself is only about 30 feet wide at its widest. No, I'm sorry. It's only 20 feet wide at its widest. And you guys, I'll let you kind of decide where it was that you landed. But with him grappled, you can move him and yourself by using basically at half speed.
Or with, like, I guess, Fade, would we have been, like, within 10 feet of the edge?
Oh, I think we were like landed right up wherever Eighth One was. We were close to him, so it's up to Jody, really.
So let's say you guys are in the middle of the ship, so each side of the ship itself is 10 feet away from you guys. So the edge is 10 feet away.
So I could move half speed. Okay.
Yeah, and you could kind of drag him off the edge if you wanted.
Well, I wanted to drag him close enough that I could throw him over.
Okay, well, very easy to do. So he's at the edge. Fade, you're sitting there kind of gripping onto this dragon tail that's wrapped around your neck. You've gotten to the point. The dragon tail itself has become stiff, almost pole-like. So he's actually pushing you with it. And
Sure.
As you get to the edge, and you can see and you can hear kind of the wind rushing because you're 250 feet up in the air, and you're starting to be pushed over just a little bit where you're leaning a little bit, and the only thing that's really keeping you on right now is the fact that you've got a grip on this dragon tail. So that's one attack, Elaine. Is there anything else cool you want to do? Again, narrative combat, you're not limited to actions, more of just, describe what you want to do and then do it.
I mean, I'm under mind control. He told me to kill him, so I'm trying to throw Fade over the edge of the boat. So that's basically it.
All right, Fade. I'm going to have you make me a dexterity. I'll let you choose dexterity or strength.
It's the same either way, so I will do Dex since I'm not in armor. May I make a comment request since this is narrative?
Sure.
I will make this attempt to do whatever you say I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to do it so that I can twist my body so I'm looking behind our enemies. Behind Eighth One and behind the dagger.
Okay. I think that's very possible. My thought was you were going to use the claw to try and Wolverine yourself down the side of the ship.
I don't.
Okay, so you are now technically free falling. You've been kind of pushed about 10 feet away from the edge.
Can I see this? And can I react to it?
Theoretically, yes, you can.
Can I react with feather fall on him?
Yeah. If you would like, that will use your reaction.
Yep. All right, then I cast feather fall.
So, Fade, as you sit there and you start falling, your entire body feels very, very light. And I don't think you've ever had a feather fall cast on you before.
Nope.
So it's a very new experience, but you notice instead of like falling, because you have fallen before,
Sure.
You're kind of drifting slowly down.
That's fine. I would like to, if Elaine's done throwing me over, I'd like to take my turn, please.
Is there anything else you want to do with your turn? Now that you've done that, you've noticed that your body is just kind of there, Elaine. You're not moving. You're not, like, you did what you were told to do. And to your knowledge, Fade is, while he's not dead yet, you have effectively killed him, which is what you were told to do. And so now your body is just not responding to anything you tell it to do.
Yep.
Fade, you are up next.
So my head was in the right direction as I went over. I saw everybody
Definitely.
looking at me. I'm going
Well,
to
now that
either
you're floating, you can kind of like maneuver yourself a little bit, like
Well, instead of
skydiver it.
that, I'm going to Misty Step above everyone's heads.
Okay.
And since they were looking at the edge, they shouldn't be able to see me. And I'm going to cast Banish on both the dagger and Eighth Wind.
Shit.
Interesting. What level spell is Banish?
It's a third. No, it's a fourth, but I'm using a 5th level slot.
Okay. The dagger sits there, and as you kind of appear above them, despite the fact that everyone else was kind of focused on that, the dagger purposefully has just been sitting back, kind of observing everything. So when you appear above him, he notices you and waves his hand.
What's up?
And you said you cast it at 5th level, right?
Yep.
He would not have counterspelled at 5th level. So... as you sit there and focus on the banish spell, nothing.
Oh
Cool.
Hi.
Who's got lucky? Make him re-roll. Jesus.
None of us do.
And you see from underneath his hood this slight grin as you... how far above the deck did you appear?
If I had feather fall, I would have fallen 5 feet like instantly. So I can go 30 feet, so 25 feet above the deck.
Okay. And I think you go like 30 feet around, right?
Yeah.
So you very lightly kind of touch down on the deck after doing that. And Eighth Wind kind of looks at you and gives you a kind of a nod in recognition of the unique, ingenious thing that you decided to do. Go ahead and take what's it called? Inspiration for that as well, because that was a really, really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Really, really cool thing to do. Sorry, that was the entire purpose of him sitting there. Like,
I run
unfortunately
up
for you.
to the dagger when I land.
Okay. He seems less than thrilled that you're this close. And you see him kind of start crouching down. Settings, fade. Willow, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, so what we're doing is not so much combat as I call it narrative combat, where you kind of just describe something cool you want to do, and then I'll figure out a role or something for you to do with it.
Okay. So since I kind of missed it, can you tell me where I am on...
Well, Avok, I'm going to let you choose. Avok rushed forward still in bird form to try and attack this Eladrin, an Eladrin that you have seen once before. He wasn't the one that had you under his control for the past month, but he met with him right before you escaped. And I think, Fade, you've called him by name, right? During this fight?
Yeah.
So you heard Fade call him Aethwin.
and I knew that name priorly. Okay.
Yeah, she said it.
Kind of. Oh, did
Yeah.
she? Oh, yeah. So yeah, you already knew his name. So yeah, this is a bad dude. And you saw Fade. You just saw Fade attempt to cast a spell that you didn't quite recognize because the dagger in the corner counterspelled it so quickly. But yeah, so I'm going to let you choose. You could have stayed on Avok's back while he went in for his attack, or you could have jumped off to the deck of the ship. Which did you want to do?
I think I probably would have jumped off so that
Okay.
he could have it.
So you were on the deck of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
It is your turn. What cool shit do you want to do?
Okay. So they have the dagger and we have Aethwin. Do we have anybody else on the ship?
There is a grand total of 4 people other than Aethwin on the ship. There's the Dagger, there's Aethwin, there's a person at the helm, and then there are 2 kind of lackeys that are like, adjusting the sails, making sure the stone itself is where it's supposed to be, just your standard lackeys. They seem to be avoiding you guys, not out of fear or anything, just out of, I have a job to do. You guys are in the way, so I'm just going to move around you.
Okay.
And you
How
did
far
see
am I
Elaine just throw Fade off of the ship, and you recognize exactly what he's going through right now because you have felt that before.
But I don't know how to break that. So
you can roll me an Arcana check. Because being under its effect for so long, you may have learned something about it.
That's a 27.
27. You know everything. You know that the spell's called Gaius.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Wait.
I like.
Shit, that's a 1 minute casting time.
Wait,
We're gonna
he was
say
casting that the whole time?
we're gonna say that he has a special ability that allows him to do that. Just so we can keep with the narrative, unfortunately.
Okay, let's be broken.
But the spell itself takes a remove curse, a greater restoration, or a wish spell
Well, no, I have that.
to get it
Thank
to stop.
God I had that prepped.
Otherwise, it's a month. He does whatever Aethwin tells him to do.
Oh man, I'm glad I came back.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right, so I kind of keep that knowledge to myself because I really don't have anything I can do right now. But I want to try and get the pilot. How far am I from the helm?
The ship itself, side to side, is about 20 feet.
Right.
Bow, what is it? Bow to stern, end to end, whatever it is.
Right.
We're gonna say is roughly about 40 feet. So it's relatively small, and you're in the middle of it. So let's say you're about 20, 25 feet away from where, or maybe like 20, 15 feet away from where the pilot would be. And Aethwin is standing in between you and the pilot.
Okay.
So to attack him, you would have to basically go through Aethwin.
Then what I will do is cast Blink on myself to get around the middle and get towards the helm.
So you're familiar how Blink works, correct? Basically, at the end of your turn, you'll roll a d20. 10 or higher, you blink from existence. And then at the beginning of your next turn, you will blink back into existence within 10 feet of where you were when you blinked out before.
It was only 10 feet? I thought I could travel a little bit.
I believe it's 10 feet? I'm going to look
Yeah, within
before
10
I
feet.
say.
Okay.
Yeah, within 10
It
feet.
is 10 feet.
So,
Then that would not get me.
if you wanted to, like, Misty Step is that kind of teleportation thing. Blink is more of a, because you blink into the ethereal plane, when you're not actively doing something, it's kind of a defensive spell.
Fair enough. Okay, then I will.
Very useful defensive spell. Don't get me wrong. Like, insanely useful. Huh.
Yep.
Especially since even if you can see into the ethereal plane, most spells can't target the ethereal plane.
Right.
So.
Oh.
Yes.
Sweetie, you should roll a concentration check because you did get damaged. And I'm still polymorphed.
That's a fair point. Concentration, what do I add to it?
Constitution.
Or is it just, straight D20?
Yeah.
It's D20 plus your Constitution.
10.
That's what. Yeah, that's what you need because there's only 12 damage.
So I'm still polymorphed.
Yeah.
Unless-
Well, theoretically, you would have ended the polymorphed as you were flying up and would have fallen. So I'm glad you remembered that because I didn't. All right. So Willow, what are you doing?
So instead of blink, I will cast Dimension Door. And do the same thing to get over to the helm.
Okay, so you guys watch as Willow sits there and kind of sits there and produces this magic key and unlocks the door and just walks through it. And you guys see this kind of portal appear behind the helmsman, and she appears right behind him. Aethwin, now having his attention kind of diverted by people on both sides of him, kind of turns to face you and goes, "Really? I would have thought better of you." And yes, is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
I mean, my ultimate goal is to get control of the house, but I don't think I can do any really.
Not
really
this turn. Not this turn.
No.
At the end of your turn, Aethwin's going to get pissed off, run over, and try to stab you.
Lovely.
Is she within 5 feet of me?
You know what? The ship is small enough that yes, she is.
Then I do a thing.
However, you're looking at a 22.
I'll use my inspiration.
Okay.
24.
I would like to say.
Not bad at all.
That's awesome.
So you watch as Aethwin, again, faster than he really should be able to, runs over. You see his blade erupt in green flame, and he tries to skewer you with it. And as that happens, you kind of brace yourself because, first of all, you know that the weapon that he holds is very, very powerful. And second of all, you know that he is a very, very powerful mage and is probably fairly easily could kill you in one hit. And as you kind of close your eyes and brace yourself, you hear the sound of metal upon metal and the sound of fire kind of just exploding and burning out. And you feel nothing. And you look up, and there is a mostly naked Eladrin in front of you, who has taken the rapier and trapped the blade in his claw.
Yeah.
And deflected it. But just as quickly as Aethwin had his blade trapped, he twisted it very quickly and removed it again and pointed it back at Fade and goes, "Well, you've certainly learned some new tricks, haven't you, you blood traitor?" Kata.
Real fast, just wanted to say one thing.
Sure.
When I cast my spell the last turn, I'm changing my transmuter stone to fire resistance.
Okay. Kata, you are below everybody, and you've basically kind of almost disarmed one of the ships. Because of that, there's a grand total of 8 ships. 7 of them are attacking the settlement below.
Was I off the deck when I ended my turn?
Yeah, you would have been in the air. Unless, did you want to be
Then
on the
I
deck?
would be fell. I preferably, but
Okay, then you're on the deck.
If you want this to be,
then you're on the deck.
cool, if you want this,
Or
to be
you were
cool,
just above, seeing the
because
bolts coming at you. You were just
I was
above the
attacking
deck.
to run out of HP.
Okay, so you fell like 5 feet.
Okay.
As you swoop, you knew you've had this done enough. You knew what was about to happen. So you flew over the deck of the ship that you got all but one of the mages off of, and you hit the deck after falling about 5 feet. So you took no damage from the fall, but you are no longer wild-shaped. You see that the ship itself is going into a dive, and so you are now about 100 feet underneath the ship that all your friends are on. And you can see the guys that are kind of trimming the sails and stuff like that. They have what are called belaying pins on them that are basically used on ships. You use them to tie off ropes and stuff like that, and they're like a club. But they're not carrying any weapons on them other than these belaying pins, which hurt if you get hit by them, but it's just a club. It's a blunt object. The pilot is focused on flying, and there's one more wizard who has stood up to challenge you. What do you want to do? Again, don't feel like trapped in, well, I have this action and spell. If you want to do something cool, just describe it, and I'll tell you what to roll.
I saw Willow and Ava go to the ship above, right?
Yes, you know that they're, like I said, they're roughly about 100 feet above you right now.
Can I transform my back into an eagle and go where the others are?
Yeah, easily. So, again, you turn into another giant eagle, fly up, and you can see something that looks strange. You've known Elaine for a little while now. Something about Elaine looks very strange right now. He's not moving. He's looking over the side of the edge. You can see that Fade has kind of moved himself and interposed himself in between Aethwin and your new friend Willow. And there's a giant eagle that looks very hurt on the deck of the ship. Because you can't have much hit points left after the blow you took from Aethwin. Yes, you're not doing well.
I'm going to land next to Elaine, seeing that something's clearly wrong with him.
Uh-huh. As you look at his eyes, his pupils are completely dilated to the point where his eyes are just fully black. Which is something you've never seen before.
So this is narrative comeback. Can I transform out and cast Greater Restoration on him?
I'm gonna say you would. Well, no, because that's kind of your go-to thing. In order for you to react fast enough, I'm going to have you roll an insight check to see if you can figure out what's wrong with him.
Okay. Oh my! No! Natural one!
So it just means this turn, you see him and you don't really know what's wrong with him. He just seems weird and his eyes are black. So you don't have enough time to kind of process and go, I need to fix this in order to cast the spell. So as you sit there, you get back down, you transform back into your human form. You're standing next to Elaine, and something about him is wrong. But it doesn't click until it's too late that somebody, because you see Aethwin, you know he's a very powerful Eladrin. You see... or you don't. You have no idea who either of these two guys are. But you see Eladrin there. You know they use magic. So it clicks, but it clicks just slightly too late for you to act before everyone else gets a chance to. So we're going to go back to Avok.
I'm still a bird.
You are still a bird. Theoretically, Willow, you can end his birddom whenever you want.
Yeah, I mean, you want to drop it?
Yes!
Okay.
Bird man.
I'm imagining a very irritated looking bird just like looking at me. So, yeah, I drop it.
He's just the bird sitting there.
Rage.
Pretty much. Alright.
Okay.
So, okay, now on me again.
Yep.
Okay, over 100 hit points back. Good. All right. Well, after taking that lovely blow, it's frenzy fucking time.
Okay.
Raising. And I'm just gonna freaking gun for Aethwin again and slash the fuck out of him.
Now, raging does take
A
your bonus action,
so
you only get 2 attacks this turn. Okay.
I'm all right. All right.
So you run over, Aethwin has his back to you right now because he's turned to face Fade.
Ooh, do I
And
get
Willow.
advantage on this?
No, because he's again being a battlefield commander, he's very used to keeping track of multiple targets. So unfortunately, no advantage.
Okay.
He's grappled by me right now, though.
Actually, now that
no, he flipped his blade out of there. You didn't roll high enough to technically disarm him. So
Well, I wasn't trying to disarm him. That says if I block it, I lose my action next round because I'm grappling this round.
No, that's okay. I just remembered. I have reckless attack, so I'm gonna freaking use that.
Is he actually? Did I forgot that so being the dungeon master that I am, thank you so much for linking that because I've completely forgotten what I wrote.
Basically to do that block, I have to sacrifice.
And then if you got 5, if you did more than 5, you disarm. Yeah. Okay, cool. So he is actually grappled, so he can't move. So anyway, go ahead. Grappling doesn't give advantage, anyways. But
I will still.
Thank you for reminding me of the magic item I created that I can't remember.
All right. Well, anyways, reckless.
Go for it.
Okay, that's good. That's a 26 on the first hit.
Math is hard. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. That's good. I like that. Okay, so 12. What's my rage damage now? Okay, 15 plus my strength is 4. That's 19 damage on the first hit.
Okay, good.
All right, second attack. Can I get higher than that? No, that's fine. That's 28 on the second hit.
That one misses. No,
really?
They both hit.
Okay.
You're rolling slightly too high for him to use any of his cool tricks.
That's fair.
He has a shit ton of them too, and none of them reach quite that high.
That's fair. Okay, that's 17 damage.
Okay, so as you sit there and you hit with your axe that is basically in the shape of the holy symbol of the Dark Lady, you notice something that didn't happen before. His clothing cuts and gets slashed by the axe, whereas your beacon talons did nothing before.
Right. Because
and then they hit against something solid, and you hear the sound of metal slashing against lots of fine pieces of metal, and you see some sort of chain shirt underneath it that gleams kind of almost bright white as you slash against it. And it's obvious that it hits, but you notice that your cuts can't make it through this whatever this chainmail is made out of. You're not actually piercing the chainmail. It's the sheer force of the blows themselves that are actually damaging him right now. So you see him kind of react around and get knocked around a little bit. And you see he's still kind of locked with Fade being grappled by him with his new weapon. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Pretty much I'm just after the... Oh, it's payback time, motherfucker.
So after, at the end of your turn, he flips his blade around, catches it in the other hand. His arm is still kind of tangled up in Fade's gauntlet, and so he can't move. But even left-handed, he goes and thrusts his rapier at you, and
he has advantage.
You're not going to like that.
I was expecting it.
Oh, not as bad as it could have been. 23.
Oh, that hits.
Did you roll a natural 20?
No. Those are actually kind of low rolls.
Okay.
He has a very, very high attack bonus.
I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Wow. 1, 3, 7, 9. All right. You take. I have to do math. 6 piercing damage, which you have to 3.
Okay.
And then 8 fire damage.
Okay. So 11
as
total.
the plane kind of erupts in flame, and then the flame itself again bursts from you and actually heads to fade, where it does. Wow, I have never seen that many 2s and 1s in my life. 9, 11 plus 5. 16 fire damage to fade as the green flame just jumps from you to fade. Anything else you want to do?
Wait.
No, that was his turn. Never mind, ignore that. Or actually, that was his legendary action. Now it's his turn. Aethwin turns to Elaine and goes, Elaine, I seem to have a bit of an annoyance here. Kill him as well. And he points at Avok. And then... Yeah, actually, he's going to go, as much fun as this has been, I believe I've done enough here. And you hear from the other, from the dagger there, yes, I believe we are more than able to retreat at this point, sir. And so you see him grab the dagger, and you watch them blink out of existence.
Damn it!
But right before he does that, he turns to the helmsman and says, "Crash the ship into the settlement. Make sure everyone there is dead." And they blink from existence.
No!
Well,
Shit.
So you guys are now on the ship itself. The ship has now just started plunging. And you notice that the pilot himself looks kind of similar to Elaine at this particular point. And is just pointing it straight down at... it looks like you guys are heading directly for the forge.
No!
However, you're 250 feet in the air. You have a little bit of time before you're going to hit it. So that heads him. There is no dagger anymore. Elaine, you still feel completely compelled to kill now both Fade and Avok.
Yeah.
However, once per day... I'm going to read
Yeah, I read
spell.
the spell.
Oh, okay.
I can... I'm thinking about it.
Oh, and I 100% read the spell wrong, because it does say it is a charmed effect.
Yeah, I read that too. It's fine.
So that was my fault.
Maybe
Normally it says charmed like
roll on
right in the
wisdom
beginning.
save?
So if you want to act in a matter against what you've been told to do, you can. but you can only do that once per day. So, so if you'd like to try and not kill both Avok and Fade, you can, but it'll take a Wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, I'm good at those.
Again, technically, it's against a charmed effect.
Oh, I'm so good at those though. And
oh wait, no,
like,
there is no save. It's just if you want to do it, you'll take psychic damage. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm a really good DM, guys. Like, totally awesome.
it's cool, professional streamer. So would it be from just not doing what I'm told, or from doing something else?
Basically, the wording is if you take an action that like contradicts what you've been told to do. So basically, you've been told to kill them. If you do something that is not killing them or stops you from killing them, i.e., just standing there and doing nothing, you're going to take the damage.
Oh, well, I'm gonna do something because I feel like I at least know what to die right now. So I feel like I try to get that helm and throw him off the boat.
Okay, because again, you are doing something that is stopping you from trying to kill either Avok or Fade. You are going to take some psychic damage. So.
Yep.
It's gonna hurt.
Yep.
7.
I'm just crossing my fingers. It's low enough that I don't fall.
16.
Oh God.
23.
Rip me.
24.
Oh God.
31 psychic damage.
God. Okay, I'm still up. That's cool.
All right. So you can take this one action, and then you're going to be totally, for the rest of the day, totally devoted to this idea of Avok and Fade must die.
One action or my turn?
Your turn. Let's say.
Because I did want to attempt to grapple this helmsman and then get him over the edge of the boat.
Okay. He. Go ahead and try. I don't think he's got anywhere near the kind of stats to resist it, but he might make you regret your life very quickly.
I'm already regretting my life.
My D20 has, like, I've seen them. There are double digits on it. I know there are.
Does he beat a natural 17, or do I need to add the modifier?
No.
Yeah,
I
thank
rolled
God.
a 5. As you grapple him and you take that damage, he seems to freak out and just hold tightly to the wheel itself in an attempt to make sure that he can't be moved. So if you do want to move him, I'm going to need a strength athletics check to see if you can actually physically rip him away from the wheel.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that.
Okay.
Athletics, 19.
There are double digits. I'm going to... See there, that's a 17. It doesn't count, but there are double digits on my dice.
When they don't matter.
As you rip him away from that, you see him clutch his head in agony, and then you start to feel this kind of heat radiating from him, and you see a pendant around his neck start glowing brighter and brighter and brighter. And as quickly as you can, as you kind of toss him overboard, this giant explosion happens throughout the ship, and the sail itself disappears. As you guys have seen before, this spider silk is remarkably flammable. And so the sail just starts burning away. The ship starts going into a free fall. You guys are now weightless. You are able to throw him far enough that you are the only person that has to risk taking any damage from his attack. I need a dex save from you.
Dex save. 21.
That's good enough. You're able to get far enough away. You feel the burn as the explosion kind of rocks the ship, but you kind of dive out of the way and are able to keep yourself. But yeah, you guys are in free fall, plummeting to the now burning and charred village below you. As you guys get closer and closer, you can see the body. Everyone except Fade, who's just kind of slowly drifting.
I feel like I made it worse.
You guys can see there are dead bodies of druids and elves and humans and other people kind of littering the ground right now as you guys are getting closer and closer and closer. Since there's no bad guys left, I'm just going to kind of open this up to what do you guys want to do? Elaine is still under this control, and he's moving towards Avok and Fade, kind of like swimming through the air because he doesn't have his wings right now, trying to get close enough to you guys to kill you.
Can I still go to Elaine?
Sure.
I cast Great Restoration.
Okay. I would like you to make a just a spell attack roll.
Okay.
So
We're
just
kind of free falling and stuff.
27.
27. Yeah, you're fine. Elaine, you sit there and you suddenly kind of get control over your body again. Your limbs start answering to you. You can start speaking and things. You were trapped inside your own body for a little bit there, but you are now completely within your capabilities. After you're casting that, Kata, you got an idea that you guys probably have about 15 seconds before you impact the ground. What do the rest of you guys want to do?
Do I know if this can fly without the sails? I mean, I would.
Yeah, you built this. The sail is what makes it work. The unique aspects of the spider silk means that it actually captures much more wind than it really should. And the fact that the electrum has been enchanted to be basically lighter than air, that's how it works. No sail doesn't work. And it seems like the enchantment on the electrum has ended, and electrum is heavy.
Okay, so there's no way to change this. There's no way to fly this. We need to get out.
Well, think pool, out of character. Think pool ball.
What's that?
Let's light up the sails on other ones to make them come underneath and deflect this one from landing right in the middle of our people. Like, we're going down, but we can blow up one side of a sail and have it ignite to make it list to hit this one and just have them deflect off.
You'll need someone with a ranged fire attack in order to do it.
I got a bunch.
Okay. And
will Radiance light it up since it's silk?
No, Radiance isn't really going to do it. It would make it feel kind of holy.
Would lightning also do it?
I'm going to say they're treated against lightning, seeing as they fly through storms and stuff like that. Has to be specifically fire. And it has to be a fair amount of fire damage, because while they are like an untreated sail, the spider silk would light instantly. These are treated, so they take like a giant explosion right next to the ship to get rid of the sail. So if you want to do this, I'm going to say I need whoever is going to make the shot is going to need to make me an intelligence check to basically see if they can line up their pool shot correctly to get the deflection to work.
Yeah, as I was suggesting the idea, I'm kind of pointing out what I think is the best angle to try to help aid somebody.
Okay, I'll give whoever does it, I'll give them advantage. Sure. If Fade, go ahead and
I have produce flame. I could at least try to help.
Well, first things first.
I have fireballs, so I can just shoot a fireball.
Fade, I need you to make an intelligence check to see if you can come up with the right angle to get the advantage.
Okay. Not a great amount, so no, I can't.
Okay, so unfortunately, it's not going to be with advantage. Kata, you don't think, because they're treated, you don't think your produce flame cantrip is going to give quite enough fire fast enough to get it to ignite. Fireball, you think, would probably work.
Okay.
With your spell sniper's feat, you know, you're kind of used to making precision shots with your spells, despite the fact that spell sniper doesn't actually affect fireball.
Right.
We'll pretend it does.
All right. So I'm. All right,
So you have to do a straight roll because Faye didn't make it. So just straight up intelligence.
An intelligence roll or an attack roll?
Intelligence. This is.
Gotcha.
It's not so much about accuracy as it is accuracy combined with, you know, trigonometry.
Sure. That's good. 24.
24. It's good enough. So you watch as she sits there and she focuses and she shoots this fireball, and the explosion hits underneath the one of the other ships. And Fate, at first, when you see her miss the sail entirely, you think, shoot, we just screwed this up. Everybody's going to die. What ends up happening is the explosion actually, the ship, since it was already flying downward a little bit, flies through the explosion, gets racketed, and goes right to the point where it does impact your ship and put it off course. It's still heading towards the island, but it's not heading directly at the forge. So it's going to hit a different spot in this island.
Who's on the ship and probably going to crash with it, like on the deck right now? Who can't get off?
It doesn't look like anyone. Kata's out of wild shapes. Willow doesn't fly. Avok doesn't fly. Elaine can't use his dragon transformation for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, I could conjure animals.
How much does this boat weigh?
Right now, since the enchantments have died, it's a giant, you know, it's a 20-foot by 40-foot piece of metal, basically the equivalent weight of gold. That's probably about, let's say, 20 feet deep. So we're talking in the multiple tons.
Okay, never mind.
Add a character. Sweetie, do you have a feather fall spell you can use?
I mean, yeah, I can cast Featherfall on us, but I can't stop the boat, is the problem. So it's still going to crash.
Well,
there is a difference between a boat crashing and, you know, an entire party falling the equivalent of 250 feet. So it's your choice.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't.
even I probably could.
And I use my 5th level slot, so I can't conjure animals at a high enough level to carry all of us.
I'm already feather falling, if it helps.
Well, if she casts it again, you will stop feather falling and then start again. So
Too much.
what are you guys doing? The ground is getting closer. 10, 9, 8. Okay. So you guys notice that the ship itself starts moving faster away from you as your descent slowly starts to fall. None of you have ever really kind of felt this before, other than Fade a few seconds ago. And it's kind of a bizarre feeling as you guys slowly go down. You watch as the ship crashes into another portion of this island and kind of ricochets around, explodes a little bit as shards of metal go everywhere. And it takes you guys another close to about 15 to 20 seconds to actually reach the ground. As you guys look around, there isn't a building that hasn't been affected by something. You do notice the ships themselves, after taking a few losses and losing their commander, have started flying off. But the canopy that used to camouflage your base is completely gone. All of the houses and living units and things like that the Druids had helped grow and everything are either on fire or destroyed. The forge itself has large chunks of metal piercing its roof and other areas. You can see the forge, because it was hot before this all started, has started catching some of the surrounding areas on fire because it's been pierced, and some of the coal and molten aspects of the forge kind of started to leak out. So there are fires all around you. You can see the ship itself that you guys have traveled on many times before is already traveling out, and you can see there are the deck itself. You see a fair amount of people going below deck. So a decent-sized portion of the population was able to get out on that ship, but it was forced to leave before you guys were able to get there. Avok, you look around, and just from a casual glance, you don't see Soligny. You do see a couple of her hunters and trackers laying dead on the ground. You see, like, there are literally dozens of bodies all around you. Some are burnt. Some are have like scorch marks from electricity coursing through them. But the whole place is in complete disarray. It's at this moment, Kata, that you remember further in. There's someone that you haven't seen since before the ritual, which is Mama.
Is she okay?
Again, it's going to take you about 10 minutes to get to the part of the island that she kind of calls home. But you see fire and smoke in that general direction. You see fire and smoke everywhere. Everything is on fire. So.
Oh, God. We gotta move. Come on. Mama's this way.
So you guys watch as Kata says Mama's this way and then runs. And just starts bolting through the forest. And due to the fact that she's kind of used to running through wooded areas, she's going a lot faster than you guys can follow. Effectively, like, you can keep her in sight, but she is moving faster than you're used to seeing. Even you, Avok, with your enhanced speed and everything, you're like, damn!
I'm impressed.
So what do the rest of you guys want to do? Kata has run off into fire, like she has run into a burning forest.
Shit. Avok runs after.
Okay. Elaine, Faye,
I would
Willow?
reach out to Scar and see if he's alive and if he's found my armor yet. And by alive, that's a very loose term.
You have a psychic connection with him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have you choose even or odd.
Odd.
So you can't sense him currently.
Okay, I go look for my armor at the blacksmith.
Well, you're, as you head in that direction, you do see your armor kind of covered by a body with scars and, pieces of flesh falling off of it. You see the corpse of Scar with your armor. Unfortunately not. And as you come over, you make me a dexterity saving throw.
Dex saving throw +3. I rolled a total of 19.
You immediately bring your clawed gauntlet up as a hammer smashes into what would have been your head. And you see the serrated death sitting there, seeing who it is that he just attacks. He goes, I'm sorry. We have to leave now. The forge is gone. He fought well. Elaine, Willow, while this is going on, what are you guys doing?
So Willow is kind of distraught, looking around, realizing kind of what indirectly she has brought about, and is just casting control flames and putting out any fire she can on bodies, on buildings that look like they might fall if they keep being on fire, anything she can do.
Okay. So Elaine, you watch as Willow sits there and starts kind of, what do you use for a focus, Willow?
Crystal and a necklace.
Crystal necklace. So you see her kind of grab this necklace and extend her hand, and you see her start shaping fire and moving it away from buildings and things like that, and releasing it up into the air where when it runs out of fuel, it just kind of dissipates, and she keeps trying. How long does that spell last for?
Well, it can also extinguish, and it's a cantrip, so I'm just...
Oh, it's just a cantrip. Okay. Cool. All right. So you see her just sitting there and like taking away this fire and lessing it. But there's so much of it that she's having such a small impact on just the blazes that are around you guys. It's almost, Elaine, in your eyes, it's almost a futile effort. So Elaine, you're the only person that hasn't spoken yet.
Yeah, he's pretty mentally exhausted.
Okay, yeah. You've been through a bit.
We could come back and all this happens. I guess I'll kind of like wander over to the serrated death since I know him. He's alive.
Okay. So you see Fade kind of picking up his armor. I don't know if you have any animate dead spells left that you could try on.
Yeah, I got a couple, but it takes a minute, so I'm going to get dressed first.
Okay. So you see Fade is starting to don his armor. You do notice are you right or left-handed? Fade, I mean.
Right. Oh.
Right.
So you do notice the right part of the right shirt has been removed. The right chain shirt has been removed to accommodate your gauntlet.
Good work, I say back to the serrated death.
Okay. Kata, as you're running through the forest, I need a Constitution saving throw as you're having a really hard time breathing. Avok, the same for you. You're running through pure smoke.
Oh boy.
9.
Okay, so you're having a really, really hard time breathing right now. You're not taking any damage, but it's slowing your pace. Avok?
21.
You catch up to Kata, and you can see her kind of gasping for breath as she keeps trying to push herself forward, now moving at a even slower pace than she would if she wasn't panicked. And you can see in her eyes that she's getting to the point where she's getting close to suffocation, just from inhaling so much smoke. So you are now, not only are you paired with her, but you can move faster than she can right now, simply because your lungs are a little bit stronger.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
Okay. You're not gonna do well here. Let me look. I'll see if I can find her.
Okay.
So you keep running past Kata then?
Yeah, I'm gonna look for her.
So you keep going. Kata, are you going to continue to try moving forward? You're going to drop down to try and catch your breath for a little bit?
Would I be inhaling more smoke if I stayed where I am?
If you drop down to the ground, the smoke is there's a small area towards the bottom of the ground where there's enough oxygen that you could regain your breath.
Okay, I'll do that.
But it'll take a full turn basically for you
Okay.
to get the smoke out of your lungs. And
Yeah. Though I'll try to
your lungs
keep
and
an
your
eye out
your
for
nasal.
Mama and Solanier anyway.
Yeah, your lungs and your nasal passages are on fire right now. They're just burning.
And can I cast speak with animals to try to call out for Mama? Or would that? Or did I use up my whole turn just?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do two different things at once.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's not your fault at all. There we go. I forgot the command.
It's always my fault. Just blame me.
Yeah. Sure, if you want to cast Speak with Animals, you can.
Okay, yeah.
You kind of do that while you're regaining oxygen in your lungs because they're, again, they were full of smoke a couple seconds ago.
Mama!
Avok, as you run in, you come to an area that to you is very obviously, or at least used to be, a creature's den. There are bones on the floor. There's an area where you could see a large creature having the ability to sleep, but is completely covered in flames and filled with smoke and things like that. It's almost impossible to see in here. Go ahead and make me a perception check with disadvantage. And I need another Constitution saving throw as well.
All right, here's the con save. That's 24.
Yeah, your lungs are starting to burn now. Despite the fact that you have very strong lungs, you're pushing them a little bit beyond what they should be able to take.
Right, anyways, perception. Yeah, that's a nat 1.
That one. So you're looking around, your eyes are burning, and you're not seeing anything in there. You hear from behind you what sounds like a very high-pitched kind of growl, roar type thing. And from somewhere around you, you can't tell, you hear something answer very, very weakly. But you can't tell which direction it is.
Shit. Okay, she's alive.
So we go back to Elaine Fade. You're going to be spending the next, I think it takes a minute to put on heavy armor, or is it 10 minutes?
It should be, it might be 10 actually for heavy.
Well, does chain count as heavy, or is that medium?
No, it's medium. So
yeah, that's
I'm doing that for a minute, and then I'm doing something else for 3 minutes.
All right, so you're kind of done. Elaine, do you have something that you want to do? While Willow is trying valiantly to fight this fire, it's burning faster than she can stop it right now. There's just so much on fire. What do you want to do?
I don't know. I guess I just kind of want to assess the situation, see what I can do to help.
Make an intelligence check.
Well, I'm smart, not really. That's a 2.
You are so overwhelmed by what's gone on, by the fact that you almost killed your friend, by the fact that all these people that you've gotten to know are either dead or missing right now. You have no idea who is able to escape on the boat or not. You have no idea what could be done, what abilities you have that could help this situation, other than your base instinct in this specific instance is from when you were a kid, which is to run and hide where it's safe. And right now, you're not in a place that's safe. You simply aren't.
Yep.
So you think the docks and the kind of passage out of here is the safest place to go right now because water doesn't burn.
That's true. Yeah, I'll head toward the docks.
Okay. So Fade, you see Elaine kind of looking almost in shock. Just start jogging towards the docks.
I yell something at her.
What?
You can't leave yet. We got some words. We're gonna have a conversation about what happened.
So
Oh,
you hear him. You're not like in complete shock. So you can choose to keep going, or you can choose to stop and listen to him.
I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. And so he keeps running. You're not sure if he didn't hear you or if he's just incapable of understanding you right now, but he just keeps going. Kata, roll me a perception check. I'm going to give you advantage because
Oh, nice.
you would know this voice very well. You are listening, not looking right now.
23.
You hear very, very faintly Mama's voice, and she sounds like she's in pain. But you, like laser eye, you know exactly where she is.
I'm going.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a Constitution save as you start breathing the smoke again.
Oh, God. Oh, really? Oh, God. It's a 5.
All right. So again, it takes you a while to get there, and you basically run into Avok, and kind of because he's such a big guy and he's solid muscle, you run into him and then just kind of hit the ground afterwards, coughing and sputtering. But you know where Mama is.
She this way.
So Avok, you feel something kind of small hit you in the small of your back, and then hit the ground, and you see Kata on the ground, wheezing, gasping for air, and she points in a direction.
I'm gonna get another roar.
When I say stay, stay, but thanks. Okay, I go to where she's pointing.
Okay. You find probably the largest cat you've ever seen. The fur is singed in places. Other places you can see speckles of gray intermixed with the golden color of the fur, and it has these two very large tusks in front. And you can see there is a piece of tree that obviously broke off and has pierced her side. And so she's kind of pinned to the ground because this branch has kind of pierced through her and pinned her to the ground, and she is bleeding out.
Shit.
Can I cast a third level Cure Wounds?
You can't see her right now. You're still a little bit further away. So Avok, you've seen wounds like this. It doesn't look. You're not 100% fluent on cat anatomy, but it doesn't look like it went through any internal organs. It's just holding her to the ground, kind of through her shoulder-ish area.
Damn it.
So you think if you can get the either get the branch out of her, which could, depending on what it's holding back, could lead to more bleeding, or at least get the branch out of the ground, the creature would at least not be pinned anymore.
Shit. Okay. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Okay. Let's get you unpinned. Don't want to remove that out of you because that could be bad. I'm gonna unpin the cat.
Okay. Just make me unpinning it is much more about delicacy than brute strength. So make me a dexterity check.
That's not bad. 15?
That's good enough. You're able to kind of unpin the creature. The creature takes a swipe at you, not recognizing you. It's a 17 on the die.
Just hits.
Okay. So plus Kata, what damage dice does a claw attack do?
I check. I didn't think I would be breaking out the bestiary again.
My monster manual's back here.
2d6 plus 5.
Okay. So you take 3 plus 5, 8, 13 slashing damage as it slashes at you.
Ow.
Tries biting at you, but it's just too weak at this point from inhaling smoke and everything like that. Kata, you're able to regain enough breath to be able to get back to her by the next turn, and you see Mama there. You can see there are patches of her fur that have been burnt. She's got this big branch stuck in her shoulder, and she's breathing really, really heavily.
I'm gonna cast a third level Cure Wounds and say, "Come on, this way."
Now you do know if the wound, because Cure Wounds will close wounds. If the wound closes around the branch, some bad stuff could happen. So if you want, you can kind of coordinate with Avok for him to pull it out as you cast Cure Wounds in case like an artery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So you guys working together, not incredibly difficult. You're able to do that. She's still breathing really, really heavily. You see her kind of get up a little bit and then kind of shake, and then she kind of headbutts you, Kata, and tries to push you away. And you still speak with animals on?
Yes, I do.
And she kind of, again, because she doesn't really communicate with specific words, more feelings and things like that, you get this feeling of her wanting you to just go and leave because it's not safe.
Come on, we can save you too.
Avok, you see Mama sitting there like batting Kata away, trying to get Kata to leave her, and Kata's not going anywhere. This is a huge cat. This is bigger than you can carry.
It is.
Like this is probably a 400-pound cat easily.
God, I cannot. I'm strong, but not strong enough to carry the big cat. We gotta go. I cannot hold out much longer.
Okay.
How far away are they from me?
Way
Okay,
too
I don't
far.
think.
Too far.
About a 10-minute run.
Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, they'd be. Yeah, they ran off through the forest.
Gotcha.
I love you.
Damn it. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay. So you guys both kind of run out as the fire continues to kind of burn and everything. Again, it takes you roughly about 10 minutes to get back. Fade now has Scar back, but Scar is looking a little bit weaker than he was before. And there's 2 other corpses. You don't think... You think with Scar specifically, you don't think the body is going to survive another resurrection or reanimation. Like, it's just the body itself is starting to fall apart. So you think if it dies again, it's done. You see Kata and Avok run out just coughing, hacking up a lung basically. You see streams of tears just running down Kata's face. And Elaine is at the water's edge and just kind of stopped there, while Willow is sitting there just vainly trying to stop fires wherever she can, and every time she puts out a fire, another one flares up.
Can we say if I've had 10 minutes then that I cast Find Familiar as a ritual? I have a hawk and send it up just to kind of get an idea of how far the destruction has gone.
I'm going to say because of the chaos and everything, I won't let you cast it as a ritual, but I will let
Okay.
you cast it as a spell slot.
Okay.
So if you want to use burn a spell slot, I'll let you cast it.
No, that'll be my last first level. So,
Okay.
nope, I'm just trying to control things.
What? I mean, we had like our scout, not our main ship, but we were making scout boats or something like fishing boats.
Well, they
Can
had,
we find any of those?
there were smaller boats that the wood elves used to kind of dart in and out and gain more allies and stuff like that. Most of them are destroyed. If you look, you might be able to find one that's seaworthy enough that you could use, but they've all taken quite a bit of damage. So that would require an investigation check.
Gnome, how did you get here?
I have a lot of magic and a lot of travel, so but only for one person.
I look around and see how many of our resistance, how many people are dead around us.
Around you, why do you have to ask for numbers?
I need to know if I can find 26 people to take with us.
26 corpses?
Yes, because I can bring them all back to life in 10 days. If all I do is raise them. Raise, sleep, raise, sleep, raise, sleep.
Could you find 26 corpses? Yes.
All right.
Then
I will wait till see.
Is there a ship left that would be big enough to transport 26 corpses plus you guys? No.
Okay, well, whatever amount of dead friendlies I can fit on the boat with us is what I will take to try to save them.
Well, first you got to find a boat that's still seaworthy. So I need someone to roll me an investigation check.
Well, before that, can Avok look at the corpses and I guess the question is Sonya amongst the corpses?
I'll need a perception check from you.
Oh, you bastard!
If I was with
Sorry.
Fade, I'm also looking for boats. So
Okay.
roll.
Go for it.
All right, that's 19.
19. Some of the corpses are too burned to really identify. None of them, as creepy as this sounds, you kind of know her body type pretty well, and you know her form. You don't see any that you think match her.
She got out. Okay.
However, you're in a very small portion of a very large area, so the time it would take to search every single body here, you guys would all die from asphyxiation.
True.
No, Avok's confident. He knows he feels she got out. Okay. That's all. All right. Anyways, so
investigation checks. What'd you get, Fate?
18 total.
All right, Willow. Did you get higher than that?
No, 15.
15. Okay. You do find a small like clipper. It's basically a kind of like a canoe with a sail attached to it. If you've seen what's the name of that damn movie? Moana?
Oh.
Make
Yes.
way, make way.
Yeah.
I should have been making you watch that.
I've heard that song so many times. I want to claw out my ears.
it's a good movie.
It's a great movie. I have to admit, it's a great movie. But I've heard that song in like 12 languages. That's how many times I've heard that song.
Okay.
And it sounds beautiful in every language, but Wow. So you find one. It is big enough for your immediate group, and if you want to, you might be able to bring half a dozen corpses with you in this boat. But it's going to slow you down immensely from the I hate to use this term, dead weight.
Well played. I look at the group and I say, if you guys are willing to do the work and sail this boat, I can maybe save some of these people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have to make choices. There are druids. There are pathfinders, which are basically rangers. That you could see in your immediate vicinity, and there are civilians.
Serrated Death is coming with us, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully.
He, you do notice part of his beard is gone. So he's kind of lopsided, but
Maybe I'll take a couple of druids.
So the party itself, we have Avok, Elaine, Fade, Kata, Willow, Serrated Death, Scar, 2 new friends. So we have 9 people currently.
oh, I forgot about your undead people. Yeah, basically the undead people are going to take up space that corpses could take up. So
Oh,
It's
if
fine.
you're bringing 3 undead, then you're going to have to leave 3 corpses.
No, it's fine. I'll just tie their bodies up behind us as shark bait, so we can eat. It's fine.
how morbid.
That is horrible.
I am literally a death cleric. That's
No, you're right. You're 100% right. All right. So yeah, 6 people. Again, you've got pathfinders, you've got druids, you've got civilians. What are you taking?
Like, obviously, this is all happening pretty quick. Like, do we have a place to go? This was it. The Dwarven city's gone.
You guys are in an archipelago. Willow has island hopped her way here and had to go through quite a bit of the archipelago. So there are, I don't know, a dozen islands around you. This place was chosen because it was the easiest to defend. However, again, there's all these different tiny little islands around you that, at least for the time being, are going to be safer than here because you don't have to worry about burning to death or suffocating. So,
would I be able to say I passed through a certain one? Like, would I know
sure,
if anyone?
you would, to be perfectly honest, they've sailed past and through these. They would know better than you would. You passed over a couple of islands once. They've sailed over this multiple times.
Sounds good.
We work so just based on character knowledge. We've done what we could on Kael itself. We were in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
We actually went through a large chunk of the northern archipelago thus far. There's no point in going back up there. We've done all we can do. We've helped who we can. Fade would absolutely suggest we go to Draconis. We've done what we could. All our work has been cut down to nothing. We need help. We're all the strength we're going to be able to show them. Maybe with Serrated Death here, one of their clerics or someone will know what he is.
With the boat you have access to, you can't make the trip to Draconis. It's too big. You'll have to find a bigger boat to go all the way there. This will get you to another island so you don't die right now.
Okay.
Do we want to maybe revisit the Spider Kingdom and get a new sail?
I was going to say, what's the condition of the boats that crashed?
You guys have been able to salvage together one kind of clipper canoe type thing.
No, I mean the Electrum boats.
Oh! They're worthless. They're giant chunks of metal. The any of them that crash into the island, the enchantments are all gone. So they're valuable in the fact that they're made of precious metals.
Right, but if I enchanted them once, could I do it again?
You don't have the equipment to be able to do that kind of enchantment.
Okay.
You were part of a team that figured out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't do it yourself.
Okay.
So looking at our little clipper that we have, we know we can't go far. Obviously, I think we need to start collecting whatever supplies we can. If we're going out on open water, then we need rations. Actually, we don't, because I'm cleric and I can do that. So no, we just need dead bodies, us, and we need a GTFO right now. Because as far as I know, there's still 6 ships destroying the island, unless they've gone away.
You did see them after after their leader just went peace out, and they lost a grand total of. He was a fleet of 8. You guys killed 1. It probably would have taken another, so they lost 3 of 8 ships. And Willow, you know, again, they're made of pure electrum. These are insanely expensive. So losing 1 would have been a blow. Losing 3 is a big deal, and so the remaining 5 just booked it back towards the Platinum City.
Okay.
Fade thinks we should go to the Dragonborn. They're the only force that he thinks could possibly stand up to the awesome power that he just saw displayed. So that's his recommendation. Get there however we need to. Island hop, I don't care. I'm tired of this running away from these guys and hiding.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. We have to go see the Dragonborn. So we gotta find a way to get there. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
We're gonna need to stay pretty far away from Corn's Island because there were a kabillion undead and I can't control them all yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't feel like dealing with that shit again.
I mean, do we want to risk going towards Kael? Obviously, there will be shipping lanes. Maybe we could pick up or pirate a boat or something like that. I don't know if I call a captain if he's going to come back for us. We've got the gnome, and for all intents and purposes, I led them straight to us. So
Yes, you did.
I step back as I say that, and my zombies get in front of me. But it is the fastest ship. I mean, yes, it could be worth it, or we now have allies on 2 sides, or enemies on 2 sides. I don't know.
Fade, with you being an Eladrin, you would have studied maps and things like that. You know the major Eladrin settlements. You think you could probably island hop using this clipper to get to... the island itself is called Yiza, because the 2 Eladrin cities on it are Yiza Feluna and Yiza Anore. And you know that particular set of islands, or that one long island, used to be kind of a haven for people that were looking to stay away from Eladrin forces, but not far enough that they were out of Eladrin. People that have fallen out of favor with the Eladrin government, you know, people that wanted to go into hiding for minor crimes and things like that. Corsairs, people like that, they would have sailed out of Iza Feluna or Iza Anore, which is to the south of where you guys are. So there's, and with its being close to Olgoth, which had that huge slave market for...
oh crap, we have them too.
arena, there's much likely a chance to find a non-Eladrin captain ship there than probably anywhere else nearby.
So Olgoth was taken over and broke free of the Platinum City, which means those ships are probably going there to level it. Because now that they have a fleet and they've proven that they can stomp out resistance, that's probably what they're going to do. This is Fade's just talking out loud. Yeah. Am I wrong? And I look at the gnome. What's your name, by the way?
Willow.
Thanks for the heads up, Willow.
For as much good as it did.
Even if someone may not believe you, you seem trustworthy to me.
Well, thank you. I haven't heard that in a long time.
As far as I can tell, you are able to put up some of a fight, and I'm still getting the whole turning me into a bird thing. It's still, but whatever.
All right. So this is me guessing. I don't know. I'm going to talk to the party. Quick confab here. If we bring up the druids, they can probably help us get there faster by controlling the weather or the water or something. If we get the rangers, they will get us a better path and maybe help us get there more sneaky. So what's more important?
One of each, maybe?
Okay. I look at the two Eladrin corpses and I say, go get the boat ready. And then I say, Scar, pick up Scar and me, go pick up a druid and a ranger carefully and respectfully, and we will take them over to the boat.
All right, so you have space for 4 more corpses.
Hey,
I look at Serrated Death. Is there anyone we need?
He kind of looks at you, and you can see he's kind of struggling with the idea of picking corpses based on what's most useful.
Yeah.
Like this is not something that he's prepared to do. And he just kind of shakes his head and says, "I'll go help prepare the boat," and just kind of walks away. It doesn't seem like he's really prepared to deal with this right now.
Amateur. That's fine. Then there's room for 4 more. I guess we take 3 and 3. Just to keep friends for everyone?
Okay.
Because I tell everyone, I can't guarantee this is going to work. It was an ordeal to bring Avok back in the heat of battle. This probably won't work, but it's worth a shot. Otherwise, burial at sea.
All right, so it's as you guys finish collecting the last of the corpses, the smoke is getting thick enough that it's becoming toxic to you guys. You're all coughing now. Your eyes are all red. Your lungs are burning. As you push off from the island, you give one last look to the place that has been your home for the past few months as it crumbles and falls apart. And then you get caught by the current leading out of the kind of natural harbor that you guys had. And all you can see is a pillar of black smoke coming from what used to be your home. And that is where we are going to end it for tonight, because it's almost midnight here. I do want to thank you guys for playing. If this is your first time watching, welcome. This is episode like 42 or something like that. These guys have been playing, like I said, for about 2 years. All of it is on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody, so feel free to catch up on all of the amazing stuff they have there. These guys are coming to the end of a rather major plot line. and are just now starting to realize that they are part of a much, much bigger world than they initially realized. So yeah, please keep tuning in. Twitch.tv/TrainerJody. Every other Tuesday night, I run games. Run this game here. The weeks that I'm not running this one, I'm generally running another campaign that is reaching its end, and we'll be starting a new campaign there. And then every other Saturday, I run an Open Legend game over on Zelda Universe, twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV. So, yeah. That's all for me. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.